Bonjour, Kirk. Oh, okay. Bonjour, Kirk. Quinn. Ashamino. When I say Ashamino, I say, here we go again. Bonjour, Kirk. Glad that you guys have joined us again. And what I decided to do was do some nouns and talk about Bonjour Quinn and talk about some of the nouns and their and the meanings and their origins. Some of them I really can't find the actual origin of it, but there's going to be some that are easier to pick up. And one of the reasons why I want to do this, say bonjour Leanne. One of the things that reasons why I'm doing this is to let people know that our language and the words they have meaning, and that there is a history behind a word, I'll say, and that the meaning is some of the meanings of some of the words are just fascinating to learn, and that a lot of people don't really understand where the words come from. And I gave you some examples earlier on with, let's say, the thing about Ishpahmihtihnah with the horse. And there is a lot of words that are like that. And some of the teachers now in the schools only put up the word and the meaning, like horse for Ishpahmihtihnah, where Ishpahmihtihnah means, has a nail in each foot or hoof. So, and that's why it's very important for us language teachers, language speakers, to explain where some of these words come from and what they mean. So what we're going to do now is talk about nouns. And nouns are Kahahtaygihn. And Kahahtaygihn means the things that are here. And it really has a lot of meanings with some of the words where a lot of people will say one thing, but there will be other meanings beside it. Now, let me see. Yeah, Kahahtaygihn. Jamie just put that up. Things that are here. And the first one is Akeeng. Akeeng. That word land will be in all different words, like let me see if I can remember some of these things. Milawa. Okay. A really great example is Milawa. Now it's got the L in it, Milawa. Us Ojibwe, we don't have any L's in our language, okay? But Milwaukee is actually a word from the grandfather tribe of the Lenapes. and it means beautiful earth. Milawa is beautiful. The meaning of is beautiful, and it has the word ake in it. Milawa ake. From Milwaukee, they call it Milwaukee now. So there is that one example of ake in there, and also in the title of my book, Akiwenzi, a person as worthy as the earth, has the word ake in there, Akiwenzi. So there is, and you must remember that there is this really, really important relationship with Anishinnaabaymohwin and the land, and our responsibility to look after it, which we are doing now, but the earth needs a little more of our help due to the climate change, all that kind of stuff. So it's ake for land. Ake. Now, another example is Akeeng. Akeeng, yeah, is on the land. Akeeng oman dayamin. That's what you would use in the sentence. Ake oman dayamin is we are here on this earth. Akeeng. So that you take the I out and add E-E-N-G for Akeeng, and then people know that you're talking about stuff on the land. Now, Akeeng Kihkayndahsohwin, we live on this, on the land or earth. Sometimes Ake would be earth, land. So that's Akeeng on the land. And then we have, I don't know if I have other, yeah. So the next part is I'm going to describe some of the landscapes that we have. And I have, I'm not sure if I read somewhere or somebody had told me that to describe, I think there's a road or something like that in Toronto, but it almost sounds like Ishpahmihtihn, Ishpahmihtihn, or Ishpahmihtihnah. So the next word is Ishpahmihtihn. See that up there? Ishpahmihtihn. That means a high hill. And Spina, I think, is the name of Spina Road or something. I think that's the name of it in Toronto.
Spadina.
Spadina, yeah. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. So it has something to do with Ishpah in there, Ishpahmihtihnah. And that's when you're, let's say, snowshoeing, or you're walking on the land or something, and then all of a sudden you come across a land formation with a hill, Ishpahmihtihnah. And I didn't, yeah, so the word Ishpahmihtihnah, it is a high hill. So it's a description of land, an area. And there in Anishinaabe language and Anishinaabe history, there, if you listen to elders, and there would be special places that they would talk about Ishpahmihtihnah hill, and some of them have special names or attached to it. growing up on the Albany River, there is a portage called Ishpahmihtihnah. Has the word Ishpa in there, okay? Ishpahmihtihnah, when they gum. So Ishpahmihtihnah when they gum is means that the place where there's a lot of tall trees. So, and I barely remember that that place on the Albany River when we were traveling up and down. At that time, we were just kids when we grew up there. But I remember our parents talking about the name of that place where there was tall trees growing up in the portage. So that was a description that the Anishinnaabaymohwin would have. And all of these Anishinaabe words, terminology, they're still up on the Albany River and let's say Ottawa, Biscuit, further north of the Albany River in northern Ontario. And I know that they would have place names also in Ojibwe up there, and just like what we have on the Albany River. And we would have. I remember another story where we would be at a certain place out on the river with with our parents, mom and dad, and there was this one place we would pass, and our mom would tell us, "Oh, Kihkayndahsohwin," and she would say, and so Kihkayndahsohwin is has something to do with a pike and the anatomy of a pike. It's so the literal translation for that place is pike's ass. So I don't know how that name got, why they named that a long time ago, and but it had something to do with that. So that is an interesting part of the history of the Albany River, especially along the Albany River, where we traveled up and down the river and saw all of that land formation. And another name is Shoreline. And that means smooth rock portage. And you will notice that when we say Winnegum for a name of a place, you'll know that we're talking about a portage, like a falls or rapids in our territory. So anything that has something to do with Powittig or Winneguming, the portage. So there's all these name places that we still have up north, and what I'm afraid of is that we're slowly, I think, losing some of these place names because people don't really go up there anymore. And for us, we're getting old also, and but we still remember these the names of these places. And I took a bunch of people I worked with one time up north to do some demonstrations on tanning moonside. So we went up north to my brother's place. He's got a little camp up there. And we have 4 young guys that I took up there to do demonstrations on moonside tanning. And we stayed over at my brother's camp. And so one night, the young guys had gone up to the attic to sleep. So I remember my brother and I were up there talking, and we were reminiscing about the Albany River. So I'd asked my older brother to name all the rapids going up, all the Ojibwe words, because he trapped up there with our dad and mom. So he knew all these name places that are up there. So it's amazing how he can remember all of the names and the meaning of some of the places. And so it was passed down to him from our parents, and then our parents' parents passed it down to them orally. Like, it's not written down somewhere. So that's kind of let me see, that we do need to write these down, or else people are going to forget them. Yeah, even now when I'm on Facebook and people are talking in the Gookie about the Albany River, the younger generations of Baxters are, giving English names to some of the places that they experience with, like, they call it Big Bend or something, Big Point or something like that. But it's all in English. Okay, so we have Ishpahmihtihnah and Ishpahmihtihn. Now, Ishpahmihtihnah, high hill, is just an explanation of Ishpah. Okay, something that is way up high, Ishpah. And Ishpahmihtihnah is the land, the land being high. It has a high hill to it. So it's this in the Ojibwe, it's a description of something that is high, and there would probably be an Anishinaabe name to some of those things. Okay, next one. Okay. Now, these things here are, let me see here. I just want to check on something with this thing here. I think that I'm just looking for a word here for mountain, because when I was growing up, there really wasn't a word that we had for okay. We have Wajiw for mountain. But for us, growing up anyway, the younger Baxters anyway, at that time it would be us. Wajiw, that's a couple of spelling for mountain. We never really had that experience with mountains when we were growing up. So that word wasn't really in my vocabulary. And the thing about Wahjue is, I don't know, I don't really know the origin of that, but my experience anyway is the mountain, Mount McKay in Thunder Bay. They have, they call it Wahjue, the mountain. And there is a lot of ceremonial sites, I guess I'll say, in the mountains that we have here in North America. And so there would be spiritual places that had something to do with the mountain in our territories. And one interesting thing I could talk about is it's not really a mountain or anything like that, but it's the sleeping giant in Thunder Bay, what they call sleeping giant. They say it's Nanabush. That's he went to lie down there, and so that's what it is, the shape of a huge person lying down with the head, and then the neck, and then the body. So it's interesting land formation over there. But I know that there are ceremonial places there, historical Ojibwe places up there, especially up in Mount McKay. And then another place that's somewhere on just outside Manton Island, Standing Rock or something like that. I know there is kind of a high hill up there that they still do ceremonies up there, vision quests that they have there for people. So there are a lot of places like that with hills, high hills, mountains. And we have stories of Memengo and Seg, Sini and Seg, people, the small little people of one of them is called Memengo and Seg, which is butterfly, nation of the little people. And then there is Sini Seg, Anishinnaabaymohwin, people of the rock, these little people that live there. And they have all these different places that have special meaning. And a lot of Anishinaabe that still go there and recognize the little people that live there, and also the ceremonial parts. And there are certain places where, let's say, teachings that take place from elders that have people that come to them for help, and then the elder who teaches that will take them to all these different places for the history and the meaning of each place. and that there will be like special markings on rocks or paintings on the rocks, and that people are taught about those paintings and special places and the ceremonies that they do out there. So there is a lot of I should say activities, practices, I guess, that a lot of people don't really know that is still happening. And so it's almost like that secret society or something. And I think I talked about the Medewan Society uh, last week, or mentioned it in other sessions. So we still have these special places that we go to for teachings. Okay. The next one is Basadihnah. Okay, that's how you would pronounce it. Basadihnah. Okay, Basadihnah. Now the word Basadihnah, it would be almost like a valley or an opening or something like that, a break in the land. Let's say it's almost like a huge ditch or whatever, but it's the valley, it's the being or state of being of the land, where there is an opening going down, or being a slope to it. Pasakwea would be almost like an opening through in the land formation. So there is in the language, Anishinaabe language, in the Ojibwe language, there's how we describe the land, and the Basadihnah is the being of where the land will have a dip to it, or the slope. So it's almost like describing the land as a being, a living thing. So there is that in that description, you would describe something that is happening, or that has happened to the land, as a living thing, to describe it. And there is also a lot of history places here on Turtle Island that have all these special places, I guess. And one of them would be, some of them would be the valleys, and they would have, ceremonial meanings to them, especially historically, with that. And then, so that's one. I don't really, okay. Do you think Pasadena? Yeah. That is what I find when I listen to the news, or there's a news item or something like that, or something's happening to a certain place, especially in the States, or even here in Canada. When they mention places like that, but yeah, in Pasadena, you must remember us. A lot of stuff are not written down in history books about us, traveling all the time, and that our ancestors a long time ago came through that area in California a long time ago, and this is way before European history, and that we will also have had traveled through those places and had given them a name with using our language. Some of the major ones would be Mississippi, Mishazibi, which was a big river. And then there is also Miami in Florida, where Miami is where a big spawning ground is. So there's that. And somewhere in New England, somewhere, I think there is a river called Cheegihbeeg River, and it's means snake river, Cheegihbeeg. And so that would indicate that that there was that Anishinaabe language being used a long time ago, and that survived. And then there is, I know in Wisconsin, there is Kinonge. There's a community called Kinonge. I think it's on the Lake Michigan, one of the shorelines anyway. In Lake Michigan, there's a community called Kinonge, which means pike. And just to let you know, Kinonge is from the word kinno. Okay, kinno is a long, something that is long. So Kinonge is a fish that is long. So it's a long fish. So I think there must have been a lot of pike there at that time, Kinonge. And there was another one I was thinking about. Forget now. It'll come to me. Okay, so there is the Basadihnah could have been Basadihnah. Basadihnah, Basadihnah. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, another named place just outside of Thunder Bay, Junia. There's a place called Junia, and Junia means money. Okay, so and the Anishinaabe there one time probably found some money there or something, and so they call it Junia. And Kehkayndahsohwin, they pronounce it Kehkayndahsohwin now. Kehkayndahsohwin Falls just outside of Thunder Bay, but it's pronounced Kakabika. That means that Kakabika would mean a place you can't go any further along the river because you'll be stuck with all the rocks surrounding that falls. So you had to make a long portage. Okay, Kurt says, I remember from a previous lesson of your Muskego Swamp, Michigan. Isn't the name Michigan from the language as well? Yeah. Mishaigum, that's where that comes from. And Mishaigum means one big lake. Because remember a long time ago, we had to paddle across that lake, and we had huge birch bark canoes that would travel the Great Lakes a long time ago. And there is a Kihkayndahsohwin here in southwestern Ontario, and it's known as Kettle Point. Okay. And Kettle Point, there's this one little point there, and it has this red rocks all around. It's almost like clay or something, but it's all red. And where that came from was they would have huge bonfires there way before the Europeans came over, and they used this huge bonfire as almost like a lighthouse. Okay. And you must remember a long time ago that this area was just covered with trees. So there would have been lots and lots of firewood available for that area. So they'd have huge bonfires in the summertime for all the people that are traveling in the canoes, huge canoes, about 36 foot long, and they would have supplies, trade from below, like from St. Lawrence River at that time, coming up through the Great Lakes to go and sell stuff and buy stuff. So there was actually trade going on here a long time ago. Also, yeah, Mushkegowin is also from a swamp area, Mushkego. And that's where that Mushkego, the Crees in the United States. I think there is a tribe that is named with that. Okay. Where are we now? Oh, yeah. Unnahming. Yeah, Unnahming. Underneath the earth or under something. Unnahming. I think I told you guys about Unnahming, the Lenapes. They have a place called Unnahming. When they were living in New York, Long Island. And there was two tribes. One was Muncie, and the other one is Unnahming. So they're from the same tribe, the Lenapes. So one village was underneath the other village, so that's why they call it Unnahming. And Unna is describes underneath. It's below something, or Unnahming. But in Ojibwe, you would understand it as under the ground, or Unnahming, with just that. And there would be that meaning of something that is under the earth, or underneath something. So that'd be Unnahming. And then the other one is, yeah, this one here is, it is kind of long. Let me see. Yeah, Aynnihkuhmihgahk. Okay. Now, this word is kind of long. Aynnihkuhmihgahk. Okay. If you break it down into the syllables, Aynnihkuhmihgahk. Aynnihkuhmihgahk. Aynnihkuhmihgahk is this description or the lay of the land, the formation of the land and geography. So it would be very like the Anishinnaabaymohwin, our ancestors, would know everything about the land here in Miskatayiminisin, Turtle Island. And let's say if a messenger or a runner a long time ago went to go to another village to send a message to that village from a different tribe, or from another chief, and that that person would have to go to that village, do the song of the song by the edge of the trees. That's what that'd be. And then when that person messenger introduces themselves, and they would name the place where they are from, all those Anishinaabe there would know exactly where that place was, the history, and also the layout of the land, the river where that tribe lives, the history of that land. So, and then Aynnihkuhmihgahk would be they would know the layout of that land, and that there was my dad, my uncles would always describe or talk about the lands and the names that they would give to all the places that they had to hunt and gather medicine and fish and all that. And that when we would travel through it with them, and then we would know the name places, the places of the names and the description, uh, the campsites we would have, and where the little creeks are coming out from, where all the springs are, the freshwater springs along the river. So there is a lot of places that are still like that up north, and I would love to see all those places with the names on. So I think that's going to be one of my projects to have I don't know, place names, I guess, of the Albany River. So there is that, Nihbeekaang, the land. And then the next one is you couldn't have the land without the water, okay? And so it's Nihbih, Nihbih. I don't really know where that word comes from, Nihbih. But there would be a name, that name would have come from somewhere for Nihbih, or it could be just a root word for all the other words that are going to be termed along with water. Nihbih. Now, next one is Cheegihbeeg. That word Cheegihbeeg. Cheegihbeeg. The CHEE. I was thinking of just using JEE for Cheegihbeeg, but I think the CHI makes it the Cheegihbeeg. That would be near the shoreline, where the shoreline and the water meet. So it has something to do with near water or the shoreline. Now, Cheegih. Cheegih means something that would describe how close they are. And beeg would indicate water, Cheegihbeeg. And so there was that description of Cheegihbeeg of where the water and the shoreline meet. And growing up north in the summertime, that's all we did, was be near the water. Hey, bonjour, Nimki joined as a guest. Nimki. Yeah, that's thunder. Yeah, Nimki. We have, a lot of us kids, when we were growing up along the river, especially the Albany River, Atawabscut would be that Venus River further up north. Well, my generation, anyways, we were growing up as kids before residential school. We would be near the water all the time. And a lot of us did not drown because we were so afraid of the serpent that lived in the water. Our parents would say that it would take us away. Kihkayndahsohwin, big snake, the serpent. So there was, then there's all these other spirit beings that would harm us. So we were always careful to be in the water, Nihbih. And I know that a lot of places, like I taught in Wapasamun early 80s, and I was there for 7 years teaching elementary. And the stories that these people have is one of them is called One Man Lake. One of the lakes just north of Wapasamun, which is White Dog. And One Man Lake, the story goes that nobody could go across that lake unless they put unless they put tobacco on the water and say a prayer before you go on that lake. And or else a huge storm would come up and take you down. So they have, and there would be even like all over. Everybody put tobacco down, said a prayer to the water, Nihbih, and to have safety when you're traveling with that, because of the spirits that lived in the water. It's kind of scary stories. Probably have a nightmare thinking about them. So yeah, Cheegihbeeg would be near the shoreline, and we used to catch those little fish with our bare hands. And one of them is called Wahjue. I don't know the English name of it, but it's a little fish. It has a little thick head body part. It's only about this big, and it had huge fins along the side and a little tail. Then we would scoop them up with our hands like that under these flat rocks that we would carefully lift. And then along, we would also find mizai, yeah. And those were baby catfish, about this small. And we would catch them with the bare hands along the shoreline. And a shagish would also be there. Now, a shagish is a crab, that's a crayfish, they call it. And we call it a shagish because he goes backwards. His tail is like this, and this is where his claws are. Every time he moved, he'd go this way, like this. He'd move backwards. So that's why we call him a shagish, a thing that goes backwards. And he'd have his little claws ready to fight us. Okay. The next one is Nihbeekaang. Nihbeekaang. It has that Nihbeekaang, okay, on the water. Nihbih comes from Nihbih, water, okay? Nihbeekaang, and the Beekaang is a description of someone or something on the water, Nihbeekaang. And in Ojibwe, anyway, as soon as you hear that that word, you would know it has something to do with a person being on the water or something on the water. Nihbeekaang. And the Beekaang is also describes the state of being on the water, of describing something that is on the water. Nihbeekaang. Okay, Nihbeekaang. Yeah, so that's where on the water. Okay. Nihbeekaang. Next one is Sahgayigun. Okay, Sahgayigun. There are a number of meanings for this Sahgayigun. And you see the word sahgay in there, the first two syllables, sahgay. That means he or she is going outside. And sahgay, sahgayigun, sahgayigun is, let me see, water that is it's going out somewhere. Okay, so there is some place that would be the mouth of a river, where that water comes in from to fill up the lake, and then the lake fills up, and then there's another part that of the land there where the river will take that water out, downriver. So there is that Sahgayigun, and so there is this description of something leaving or going out. Next one about Sahgayigun is when Anishinnaabaymohwin a long time ago would go into the bush, and then it will be, you're walking through a bush, trees and stuff like that. Then you come to the opening, and the opening is the lake. So it's like you're walking onto an opening. So it's Sahgayigun, and so then you would know, you would see the lake, and you're out of the bush. So that would be the meaning of Sahgayigun. And one thing that I never really thought about growing up, or until I came down here, was these as an adult. I found out that there's some lakes that do not have rivers coming in or going out. So they're pond, I think they're called pond lakes, I guess. But and I've told people this. I just an observation, I guess, that I saw, or I was thinking about, is that some of these pond lakes, they have fish and frogs in them, and if there is no river or coming into these lakes, I'm always thinking, okay, how come there's fish in these lakes and frogs? How do the frogs and and the fish get there. So it finally hit me. I was thinking about it. It was moose goose. Okay, the great blue heron is a carrier, I guess, of fish eggs and frog eggs in on its in its legs. So this is what happens when the moose goose, the great blue heron, is down south when it's winter up here, and then when it's in the springtime, he comes. They slowly migrate up. Moose goose. When he finally comes up here, the moose goose lands in all these different lakes and rivers down south, and then as it gets warm up here, the moose goose now flies up north, and he's picked up fish eggs and frog eggs in these lakes and rivers down south, and then he brings them up here and lands on these ponds looking for food, whatever. And then as he's walking along the shoreline there, Cheegihbeeg, those eggs and the frog eggs and the fish eggs are loosened and deposited on on those pond lakes. Because I thought, well, yeah, okay. So I tell that to people when I'm, students or at a conference or whatever, and they say, oh, yeah, that makes sense. And so a lot of interesting stuff if you take these words, Anishinaabe words, and find the meanings of it, instead of let's say putting a word up on a chalkboard, Cheegihbeeg, then you just write down shoreline. You don't explain to the kids that Cheegihbeeg is somewhere really close to something else. Okay, that is very descriptive, I guess, the relationship between the land and the water, and that the water. That description is that there's going to be a place you can walk along the shore with, or swim along that shoreline. The water would be close to the shoreline for that. Okay. Quinn. And next week, I'll be talking more about some other nouns, and then I'll give you the words and also the meaning of the words, and the words that I find the origins of, or I know. I pieced it together to give you the origins of the word. So I hope you enjoyed this. And I'm not sure where moose goose comes from, the origin of it. But I think there would be dictionaries out there, or elders that you would know, that would tell you where moose goose, the word, comes from. Okay, Amir Binama, Aynnihkuhmihgahk, Awenana we kita. Does anybody want to say something? Okay.
Just miigwech.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I hope you guys had some got some meaning anyway from some of the words. Introduce you some words in Ojibwe. In Ojibwe we say Minawa Kawabamin. Minawa Kawabamin means I'll see you later. That's our way of saying goodbye. Minawa Kawabamin. And it's okay because a lot of people still use what's one other thing that they say around here? Wabamin or something like that. So for saying that, we'll see you later. Minawa. Another one is Minawa P, and Minawa P would be a game, and that's where Minawa comes from. And a P would just be the action of that we will be doing this again. So miigwech, everybody, and we will see you next time.